All right, so you've done some courses, you've read some sales books, your resume is killer, and your LinkedIn profile is looking finished. Now it's time to go ahead and find some companies and some jobs for you to work for. The number one place to do this as an entry-level seller is always going to be LinkedIn. Other websites such as Indeed and Glassdoor are sadly filled with a lot of scams, a lot of multi-level marketing schemes, pyramid schemes, sales jobs that aren't B2B and aren't selling technology. If you want a good sales job, you really want to be looking for a company that's listing their jobs on LinkedIn, because it's free to list jobs on Indeed, which means it can be rife with misleading jobs. There are a couple of other sales-specific job boards that I'd recommend as well. RepView is one, they list some good jobs. Bravado Jobs has some, but often those are more senior, and LinkedIn has a much better searching function, so you can find the jobs that are the best fit for you. Here is exactly how I'd go about finding a new job. So the jobs you're gonna be looking for as an entry-level seller are gonna be a sales development representative. Now, most tech sales jobs these days are remote. However, they're often country or sometimes state specific. So it does sometimes help to narrow down your search a little bit to the state or country that you live in. In Canada, I know I could work anywhere, but there are some state laws that would prevent you from living in New York but working for a company in California, let's say. I'm just gonna do one like Toronto, let's say. Greater Toronto area, Canada. So now I've got 800 results of sales development roles that are entry level in Toronto, Canada. So I'm just narrowing down my search, and it's worth playing with some of these kind of search criteria. Now I'm also gonna do date posted within the past month. Sadly, a lot of jobs just get left up here and they're no longer actively hiring. I would be looking for recent jobs, ideally ones posted in the last week. If you're entry level, it's gonna be super duper important that you get a job and work for a company and a manager who has the time and expertise to train you to be a good seller. Ideally, a company that has over 100, if not 200 employees are gonna have more of a process in place to train you and make you the best seller you can be. So I've just narrowed down my search a little bit more. I've got sales development representative at 1Password, for example. So we have a company here called 1Password. They've got 500 to 1,000 employees. They meet our criteria of a company that's gonna be able to train us. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna apply for this role. This is the point where so many people get it so wrong. If you are just applying for a job, you are doing it wrong. You need to do more than that to stand out in this market. Go click on the company, 1Password. Now that you've clicked on the company, go to their employees. And what we're gonna try and find is the hiring manager for the role that we just applied for. The larger the company, the harder it's gonna be to find that person. However, this is doing research in a very similar fashion to how you would be if you were actually selling to a company. There are a few things you wanna be searching for: sales manager, sales leader, team lead. The job ad sometimes includes some clues as well. Let's do the same thing with Brandwatch real quick, and I'll show you another example. So here we go. And this one actually, Wasim is the hiring leader. Sales leader at Brandwatch. This is the hiring manager for this role. They often give it away because it actually says #hiring with a little purple banner around their name. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reach directly out to Wasim after I apply for the role. I'm either gonna send Wasim a message that says something along the lines of, I just applied and wanted to highlight my application. Use your brands on social, trying to learn more about the customers. Let me know if you have any questions about my background. Now, by sending that message to Wasim, I've immediately put myself in the top 1%, I promise you, top 1% of all those other people who apply for that job on LinkedIn, probably just clicked apply and moved on. You've now done the extra work. You've stood out. And by reaching out directly to the hiring manager, specifically the hiring manager, not the HR department, you're now putting yourself in front of the person who might be your future boss and is gonna make the decision about who they hire for this position. Now, if you want extra brownie points, do this. Go to vidyard.com, download the free Chrome extension, open up the free Chrome extension, and then record a video saying the exact same thing and send that off to the hiring manager. Because a video on their LinkedIn profile, one, highlights that you're confident, it showcases your personality, but once again, it just shows that little bit of extra commitment, go above and beyond when applying for jobs, when you're going to get in the job, you're highlighting that you're the type of person who does the extra work. And just by doing that, we're going to stand out so much more against all those other 200 applicants who applied for the role and didn't take those extra steps. If you're totally unable to see who the sales manager or hiring manager might be, don't be afraid to network with people who work at the company. A lot of these companies pay referral bonuses to employees when someone that they referred gets hired. So there's incentive for these people to help you out, but most people are just helpful anyway and will give you an introduction or even just tell you who you should be reaching out to. Okay, so you followed my process. You applied for the job. You followed up the hiring manager. Now you wait. You keep doing that. You keep finding new jobs to apply for. You keep researching companies. You keep going into the hiring manager's DMs and saying hi. You keep doing that for long enough, and I promise you, you're going to get some interviews. Typically, the first call that you get is going to be from someone from HR, and their job is to screen you.